Welcome to Talking with Deja Blaise. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, we've known each other for a few years now, and you have been doing really great work. But I'd like to get a little bit into where you're from and like how you grew up and like how you became who you are today. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
So I grew up in Atlanta. You know, when people ask me, I normally say between Atlanta and New York. I was born upstate New York, Syracuse, but I spent pretty much my elementary through high school in Atlanta, and then was in New York for college. And was there the last 7 years, and just got out here in LA now. 7 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're Syracuse, Atlanta. Where in there did you get the bug to go into entertainment?
The bug?
Yeah.
The bug. I have always, I always appreciated film and I guess fantasized about it, but it took me a while to actually have the confidence to actually, I guess, see myself in it.
Yeah.
When I tried it probably when I was about 16, and from there that was it for me. I got into it as well around the same time. I was looking into modeling and stuff too.
Yeah.
Quickly after trying acting, it had me. My older brother is also an actor too, so seeing him too also gave me the courage to feel like, oh, I can try this and be all right.
Yeah.
My upbringing, my family is Jamaican, so first generation born here.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, my mom's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they're both in medicine and strict background, and they weren't too thrilled immediately about the idea of making that my living. I was supposed to be the next doctor.
Right.
But yeah. Definitely seeing my brother going towards it too helped me have the courage to figure like that. It's okay. It's okay to choose something artistic.
Yeah, you paved the way a little bit.
Yeah.
And so when you started, were your parents a little bit more accepting of it because your brother had already?
Not really.
No? It was like you too?
Yeah, it was more like that. It's like,
yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. And so, in the beginning it was a little rough, but they've come around. Seeing me go towards it and be relentless about it now for like 8 years.
Right.
And see progress happening. I guess they're like,
yeah.
I guess you can do this. Yeah.
Right. Like there are other opportunities for work that may not necessarily be as conventional.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're learning about the process as I am too.
Yeah.
Through vicariously through us, I guess. So so it's nice.
Okay, so I guess what was your first, maybe not a gig necessarily, but opportunity that made you feel like this is something you can go into as a career? Because I know your brother was doing it, so that probably set the foundation for you. But what was it that you actually experienced that made you think, I can actually do this?
So around that same time when I was like, just going into senior year of high school, and I was doing my own research the summer before, like, okay, I was there in Atlanta. My brother was always in New York and was around sometimes and not. So
yeah.
I mean, my kind of experience, yes, was my own. So I was just trying to figure out what's the best way to go about it, and looking random stuff up, and did a bunch of super low budget and random plays out of churches.
Right.
And the community library I did a play in Atlanta. But the thing that really made me like, oh man, this is that. I guess I'm pretty good at it. I love how that felt. I love how people received it, and it meant something for someone else. My performance was we actually had a Black History program performance thing in high school, and where was like different vignettes of some poetry, some people portraying this person. I portrayed Malcolm X at that time, and you know, it was my first time kind of diving into trying to figure, and only being 17 and taking that on is maybe a grand thing. Is that maybe it seems unfathomable, but at the same time, it opened my mind to the possibility of it, and I enjoyed it, and it was well received. So
nice.
Yeah.
And so then, what was your first paying opportunity?
First paying opportunity.
Yeah, because I feel like that's when you really know, like,
I
I feel like
living
you
out
made
of this.
it. Yeah.
That was the thing that got my like soul churning, right?
Yeah.
That the artistic side of me, but the financial aspect of it, I guess. And you know, and even so, it trickles in. Like it's like, okay, you get a little bit. You're getting a little paycheck here, but that's not necessarily recurring, right?
Right.
But the first paying gig I did was Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Nice.
Just found that off some self-submissions through Actors Access.
Yeah.
It's on, I don't know if you've seen the show, but it's on Bio Channel. And it was an episode, it's one of these reenactment shows.
Yeah.
And the episode I was in was actually featuring JJ, the dude, I just had his full name, but JJ from Good Times.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was his paranormal experience.
Yeah.
You know, so they reenacted it, and I played like his friend who encountered this paranormal experience with him. So
Okay.
So that was fun.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember when I had my first experience too, it was something similar to reenactment, and I felt like I made it. I was like,
right, I know.
This is it.
Yeah,
like,
it's on TV.
It's on TV.
Right.
Like it's on IMDb now. Like I can put it on the reel. Like it just felt like, okay, there's only upward to go from here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean that's those little things. Those things are confirmation for sure. Affirmation that you can make it work. And it definitely was that for me.
Yeah.
It was that for me.
And so you moved. I guess you were in Atlanta and you moved to New York. So what was that experience like once you came here?
To LA.
Oh, I'm sorry, to New York. I'm from New York, so I always think I'm in New York. When you moved to New York.
The thing that brought me to New York immediately was school. I went to Brooklyn College, the BFA Acting program.
Yeah.
I mean, just before doing that, I was, researching different programs and auditioning, and that's the one that I chose. And that experience. I mean, I remember the first I arrived in New York in like July, and I remember being sitting there for like a month before I actually started school. And having some anxiety there because you're starting over, you don't know anybody. In this big city. But once I started school, I mean, I was so excited about it, about being able to finally just dive into the craft more. And such. And also through that, the community that came from that experience definitely brought a lot of comfort to the environment, and
And did you focus on theater or film or TV? Because I know when we met, it was on a theater production. Mm-hmm. So what was your focus then? I know, right? Yeah. Shout out to Rebel Theater. What was your focus then, and has that changed now in terms of what you're interested in?
I've always saw myself and was immediately more inspired by the idea of movies and television, but looking at the people who I admire and then just considering where is the best place to start, and I just felt like since training in theater would be that best foundation to obtain. And again, I mean, I do have to say it was helpful that my brother had just come out of a program as well, and kind of was like, I mean, if you really are looking to get better, because I was looking at a lot of schools, random workshops here and there in Atlanta, and he's like, well, why not consider this? I researched a bunch of programs and found that one, and it was a good one for me.
Nice. It's good that he's able to provide a little guidance.
Yeah, for sure. You know, early on, at, 17 years old, knowing where to go.
Yeah.
There, you know.
I know for many people who don't necessarily have someone who can provide that next step for them, it's kind of figuring everything out. And there's so many different workshops and classes and opportunities in New York, and I'm sure in Georgia as well, that you just don't know which ones are legitimate, which ones are gonna reap the best reward. Like, so it's good that you had that, because sometimes starting from the beginning and kind of going through trial and error can be expensive.
It can be expensive.
Yeah, and time consuming, so that's
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did some all throughout the program. That was more so theater-based training for sure. And we met. We did that production. I think I was out of school for a year at the time. It was like my first year out. And at the time, I was looking for both theater and film. And I mean, and even now, like I definitely get the itch for theater, and I do.
Yeah.
I developed a love for it even more so from doing it and being a part of the program. So yeah, there's definitely a big piece of me that's like, man, I gotta find a play. I would love to do a play.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like I haven't been going out as much for it out here. It's not as much of a theater community out here.
Yeah.
But
So then I guess that brings us to where you are now in LA. So you were in New York for a while. What motivated you to want to move out to LA?
well, yeah. I mean, again, with my end goal always being TV film. It was just a matter of when, really, right? And I started booking TV, and although I had a manager and rep who sent me out for both TV and theater, I did some theater, but I was getting some moves in TV, which is what I wanted, which is great. And I just decided to do it. I was like, okay, if I feel like I'm getting a decent some decent credits, a decent momentum, why not go to where it's the helmet of it all? Because even the shows, a lot of anytime I've worked in different places, like in Chicago or Atlanta, my checks are coming from LA. A lot of production companies are based in LA, and so I figured, let me go to where it's where it begins.
Yeah. And do you feel like your experience here has only blossomed since you've moved here? Like, do you feel like it was a great decision in terms of like your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about timing, and sometimes it's tough. You never know when is that time.
Yeah.
Right? But yes, I do think it was a good decision for me and a good time for me to do it, and it has been beneficial.
Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of people who are always weighing those options, because New York has so much television now.
Yeah,
there's so many opportunities to work out there, but at the same time, like you said, a lot of the production hubs are in LA, so it's kind of deciding what would make the most sense.
Yeah. I mean, I find there definitely are more opportunities coming to New York, but it just seems like there's out here. I mean, there's film as well, and the bigger the independent film market too, as well as all the other shows. Pretty much, it feels like that's not in New York. Although New York has some great shows that I would love to be a part of, and hopefully, I still can be considered for. Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
But,
So moving out here and working, do you still get the opportunity to travel back and forth? Because you said you're in Chicago as well, so I'm assuming you're kind of working all the different markets, not just in LA.
So the Chicago experience was actually when I was living in New York, and I was on Chicago PD, and that was a booking that originated from the New York market, from the New York room.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan Strauss, casting, and who's a producer on that show, is also intertwined with the Law and Order shows, which are mainly all New York, or a big
Yeah.
part of that is in New York. So yeah, that was actually through New York. And my next project I'm shooting in Atlanta, but that's from deriving from a booking here, right? So it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, the way our industry works a lot of times is like, yeah, you end up traveling to wherever they want
wherever
to
the
film.
work is, yeah.
They want to film.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting in the rooms where they're making that decision is what's important. So,
Right.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the work that you've been doing. Like, give us a little bit of your resume, what you've been proud of. Because I know you mentioned you have a Netflix opportunity coming up. So what's some of the work that you've been working on that you'd like to share with us?
That I would like to share. You want me to do a monologue? No.
Give it all. Why not? Plug.
No.
We love to hear success stories.
So definitely, I think what one of the shows that I'm most proud of was Underground. You know, I worked on Underground. I did 2 episodes of Underground.
Yeah.
Following that is when I decided, all right, now let me go to LA.
Yeah.
You know, that was an amazing experience. Everyone involved, all the amazing artists that I got to work with on that, even though it was for 2 episodes, but even such, I felt like you know, a part of the family for the time that I was there.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful story.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an important story. It's a shame they pulled the plug on it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I only hope to continue to tell more stories that move people, that have an emotional, you know, response.
Yeah, and what was so great about that was it's not only entertaining, but it's informative. Like, it's recounting history in a way where it's attainable.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're watching it and it's another program that you can be entertained by, but you're also learning. And that's a lot of the content that we see today that does do that, I enjoy as well. So to be able to work on that kind of project, I can imagine would be wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, my character was his name was Fringe, and I was the first and true love of Ernestine, who was one of the regulars on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the second season, it goes a lot into her backstory. Kind of justifying the choices that she has made.
Yeah.
In the previous season and stuff, and yeah, it made for a pretty heavy emotional journey. Really.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I cherish that experience for sure.
And where can people catch it now? Where if you
Underground? You can still see Underground on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, Hulu. It was on WGN America, but
yeah.
I don't think they're continuing to show the old episodes. I don't think so. But
Okay.
I may be wrong.
Okay.
But you can definitely see it on Hulu.
Great. And so, what are some other projects that you've been working on?
Well, last month I worked on Atlanta on FX.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you very much. So that was a gem. That
Yeah.
was great. And again, anytime I get to work in Atlanta too, which it's like can't lose because my family is there too.
Right.
But it's like it's a catch up.
You're like a local. You're a local hire.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was great. And that I don't want to reveal too much about the plot.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about how, because a lot of people who are watching are other actors, people who are looking to get opportunities and roles. So, what these types of opportunities that you're getting, how were you able to get them? Like, what was the push that got you in that room?
For Atlanta, I actually booked Atlanta off tape. So it has been definitely beneficial in my situation to have representation in Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
As I started out of that market, I got my agent there when I was like 17.
Nice.
So really, my last year or two of my last year of being in Atlanta, and I kept that relationship while I was in New York. Although it was dormant for a while because I was training and maybe not necessarily as much of a priority at the time because I wasn't there. But yeah, just a combination of after graduating and doing all right, you know, in New York, and then be communicating with them and getting some work out of Atlanta. It's you know, in that market, I've done pretty well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I get some decent auditions out of there, which is great. As Atlanta is a major market these days. It's definitely what I guess the number 2 or number 3 market.
Yeah.
In terms of productions being shot there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of decent profile opportunities. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, and it's great. It's a blessing coming off, but being able to work on that right after they won the Emmy, you know, to
Yes.
yeah. So I can't wait for that to come out. I don't know the release date yet. I know sometime next year.
Yeah.
But
that's another one that's going to continue for a few seasons, so we'll see that one some more. So, okay, so tell us a little bit about, you've had a lot of success so far. So what are some of the challenges that you've faced, I guess, in this process of building your career that you could share with some of the people that
some of
may
the
help?
challenges?
Yeah.
Some of the challenges. Well, I mean, the challenge always of financial, right? I mean, the balance, the juggle, the artist juggle. It's always balancing time versus finance, right? Putting time, making sure you're putting enough time into both the administration aspect of our business of acting and obviously the artistic part of it, making sure you're growing as an artist, and but yet at the same time, you know, we got to have time. We have to pay our bills, right? Because it doesn't always, you don't always see the monetary gain immediately from what we do, right? So that's always the struggle there. Also, I will say early on a concern of mine, not even early on, I mean even now, is right the appropriate representation for us, right? And as a dark-skinned black man, a lot of times it's easy to cast as thugs, or you know, and I've done some things that maybe that kind of fall under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Some roles, but I won't complain because I've also had opportunities to play the other end and play people, not necessarily, you know, thugs. So then I find the joy in it because it's like, okay, I'm trying to assert a certain type of versatility. So
you're an actor, you have range.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, but at the same time, we want to be conscious of the images we're putting out there, right? So
Exactly, I totally agree. Yes, and contributing to that in a positive way.
Exactly.
Yes, you can. Yeah. So, okay, so those are the challenges. What would you consider one of the major success stories that you've had so far?
Major success stories?
Yeah, like what's something that you can say, this is like, to this point, this is the thing I'm really proud of?
Well, I mean, other than the projects I just named, I mean, I would be a fool to say I wasn't proud of those.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I mean, the projects that I've recently worked on. I mean, in the last two years, I think I've been very, very fortunate, very blessed. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud of, and I mean, and it's a never-ending thing, right? I mean, I've had the blessing to have worked on some great projects, but you know, we want to keep it going, and keep growing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I have a long way to go, by any means. You know, I wouldn't say I've made it, whatever that means.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of not quitting.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and actually seeing some of the benefits of my persistence thus far.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and congratulations on all the great work you've been doing.
Thank you.
So with that, that leads me to my last question. What is your goal for the next 5 years? Like in 5 years, where do you see yourself?
In 5 years.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I hope to have if not before then, a lead in a movie.
Yes.
Or TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I may be even able to do it before then, but
yeah.
But that's what I'm hoping for and working towards.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping for that for you too, because you've been doing such great work, and like you said, within the last 2 years, there's been so much progress that I can only imagine what's going to happen in the next year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great things to come.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us. And if we want to look for your work and the projects you've worked on, or just get more information about you, where can we find it?
I mean, if you want to see my resume, I'm on IMDb.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Jordane Christie, Jordane Christie. I don't know if you're gonna have it.
Yeah, I'll have like the name there so they can see.
Otherwise, my Instagram, which I'm trying to get better with, is just my name as well. Jordane. It's Christie, Christie.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Jordane. We appreciate you coming on to the show today.
Thank you.